Rahul Gandhi, for once, is actually giving an interview. In an interview to Dainik Bhaskar, Rahul Gandhi has indicated that he is ready to take on the responsibility for competing in this election for the top job. In other words, he's saying reluctance is not in my dictionary. If the party wants it, I will be ready to be the prime ministerial candidate. That announcement could come on Friday. Rahul Gandhi is also for once talking about Narendra Modi, not in too much detail, not really elaborating, but at least going on record to say that there is a history in India of Akbar and Aurangzeb, positioning the Congress as the legacy of Akbar and the BJP as a legacy of Aurangzeb. About Narendra Modi, Rahul Gandhi has said that the BJP is turning into a one-man-centric party, to which the BJP has rebutted, saying, if we're a one-man-centric party, you're a one-family-centric party. If Rahul Gandhi throws in his hat for the top job, can it change the campaign, or is it too little too late? Let's introduce our panel tonight. Joining us tonight, Jyotiraditya Scindia. He's a minister in the government. He led the Congress's campaign in Madhya Pradesh, and he's, of course, a prominent face of the Congress party. Also joining us today, somebody we hear every night, really batting for the BJP, one of its senior leaders, Meenakshi Lekhi. Jyotiraditya Scindia, there are now probably less than 80 days before the first voting takes place, if we assume elections are in mid-April. And Rahul Gandhi and the Congress still seem to have not made up their mind as to whether he is going to be prime ministerial candidate or not. He's still saying, if the party wants me to do it, I'll do it. But for many people, the party is the Gandhis. Surely if Rahul Gandhi wanted this job, he would have declared it by now. Mr. Scindia.
Well, I think he was very clear in his statement, Barkha, wherein he said that the party as a cohesive unit decides what and whom to project as a face. He has very clearly stated that if that responsibility is given to him by the party, he will take it up and do the best on his part. I think it's very clear that India also is looking forward to his leadership, not only from a youth orientation point of view, but really from someone who wants to make a difference across the length and breadth and marginalized people of this country is concerned, and who has a very direct vision of growth and development with equity.
What difference do you believe his entering the campaign can make? Before I take this to Meenakshi Lekhi, what difference, Mr. Scindia, do you think it would make?
Well, I think it will make a tremendous difference, and I think the reverberations of this decision will echo across the length and breadth of India. But I think let's wait for that. On the 17th, when the ICC session does take place. I don't think it's apt to put the cart before the horse, but as a congressman and certainly as a citizen of this country, I do hope that decision is taken.
Meenakshi Lekhi, so far we have seen the Congress's ministers target Narendra Modi. We haven't actually seen a direct comment from Rahul Gandhi. It's come today. He says the BJP is in danger of turning into a one-man-centric party. Your comments?
My comment is very clear, which you already stated, that the history of Congress shows that they have never moved beyond the Nehru family. And of course, they usurped the name of Gandhi. That's a separate story. But one family who has ruled the country for past 57 years has no business to say we are a one-man party, because that one man has been projected by all the others from the party, in spite of differences, similarities, having competition, rising in the orders and ethos of the party. And when it comes to the material of the context in which he was speaking, he talked about the DNA of India and the DNA of Congress is India. Then let me remind him that DNA has been mutated several times, and that mutation is affecting the India, which India stood for, and the principles India was made, and the principles which are enshrined in the Constitution, which are repeatedly flouted by this party. When he talks about Aurangzeb, the Aurangzeb road is something.
I was going to ask you about that. What do you make of the Akbar-Aurangzeb parallel?
You see, I think he's not well versed in history. And I will suggest that he reads a book called Vincent Smith on the Mughal history, and he will learn a lot more about Akbar also. Akbar's projection is different from the reality of Akbar, and rightly he's pointed out that he is probably in the same category because it's the most communal party and shows the colors of secularism all the time, whereas performs exactly in the opposite direction. So far as Aurangzeb Road is concerned, that is the road which he must be passing every day. I want to ask him, when is he making a notification to change that name from Aurangzeb Road to whatever road? And the gentleman didn't even know who Maulana Azad was.
Okay, strong words from Meenakshi Lekhi. Jyotiraditya Scindia, is the Congress on a weak wicket when it talks about the BJP being a one-man-centric party? The fact of the matter is that Rahul Gandhi, who so passionately called power poison at the Jaipur session when he took charge as vice president, he's a dynast. And in many ways, the top job is reserved in the Congress. I've asked you this before. Why someone like you, Milind Deora, Sachin Pilot, why can't you bid for the top job? In the BJP, there were many contenders for the top job. So is it a really weak argument for Rahul Gandhi, of all people, to call the BJP a one-man-centric party when this is the party dominated by one family?
Okay. Barkha, I think you've got parts of my answer in the statement that you just made. First of all, let's go back not necessarily to a history lesson as Meenakshi ji referred to, but really to the recent past of the appointment of Narendra Modi ji as the prime ministerial face of the BJP, and the amount of rancor and the amount of distaste that that whole controversy was surrounded with is still very fresh in your memory and in my memory. So it's not as if there was one chant and one chorus. There were discordant points of view from the former Deputy Prime Minister himself of the BJP. So that being aside, I think his references, Rahul Gandhi's references to Aurangzeb and Akbar, were more metaphorical and allegorical, i.e. that this country has always respected and desired and wanted such a leader that takes everyone along. What does that mean? That means not everyone alone in terms of all communities, castes and religions, but also in terms of all political parties. We are very clear that we are running a coalition government in India, whether it be the BJP that comes into power into the form of the NDA or the Congress in power.
Jyotiraditya, what about the dynasty issue?
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Okay, whether it's the Congress in form of the UPA or the BJP in form of an NDA. And therefore you need someone that is more of a cohesive and a binding force in terms of a glue, rather than someone who actually shreds apart those binding factors, which we certainly believe is in the persona of Mr. Narendra Modi. But good luck to them and good luck to the NDA in terms of forging that alliance. Having said that, the third part of your question with regard to dynasty,
yes,
I think let's be very clear here, Barkha, that the Congress party, as in I certainly hope in every other political party, comes together and chooses the leader of that political party in the event that it does get a chance to form government.
But you haven't even had internal elections. You haven't had internal elections, I have to point out.
Barkha, if you allow me to finish, we all came together and appointed Dr. Manmohan Singh as the leader of the Congress Legislative Party and then as the Prime Minister of this country. And similarly so in 2009. And I think if this time around we are going to project Rahulji, I think that is something that today 120 crore people across this country today are looking for.
Okay, Meenakshi Lekhi, you're laughing. Why are you laughing? You don't buy that Manmohan Singh was the collective expression of the party. You think it's the Sonia Gandhi appointment?
Absolutely right. I think you're dot on, and you caught my thoughts, I think, looking at the camera itself. You know, I can only say Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia is probably assuming too much authority in the party, and he thinks they all can participate and even nominate somebody else other than the nominee of the Gandhi family or the Nehru family for that matter as a PM. And I don't think they have that authority. We have seen what happened to Sitaram Kesari. We have seen what happened to P.V. Narasimha Rao. We've seen what happened even in the recent past to Mr. Manmohan Singh. So as long as you foot the bill and you suit the purpose of the Congress, the Nehru's run Congress party, you're good. The moment your job is up, you could be thrown like a tissue paper.
But you haven't responded to his comment. You haven't responded to his comment on Narendra Modi having caused heartburn. It's not as if there isn't factionalism within the BJP.
No. You see, that is so much part of politics. And it is just not restrained or restricted to Mr. Narendra Modi. It is in every organization, not just the political parties, but I'm sure the coveted post of an editor, the coveted post of an anchor. I mean, there's bound to be politics, there's bound to be competition, there's bound to be more than one people who are going to ask for the same job. So it's okay. This is very much part of human nature, and this is very much part of any democratic process. If Hillary Clinton can compete with Obama and yet become the secretary in his administration, that is what democracy is all about.
Okay, that's a good point.
You don't nominate people.
That's a good point, and I want to take it to Jyotiraditya Scindia. Jyotiraditya Scindia, do you believe that Rahul Gandhi is caught in a deep contradiction? And the contradiction is this: he keeps talking about inner party democracy. He said he brought elections to the Youth Congress. He says he wants to bring that to the main body of the Congress, the CWC. But as long as he is seen to be a political inheritor, you know, even if you look at the two PCC appointments that have been made in Rajasthan and in Madhya Pradesh, both of them, both Sachin and Mr. Yadav in Madhya Pradesh are sons of politicians. And I know you're going to say, well, you know, Barkha, you're also the daughter of a journalist, somebody else is also a lawyer's a child can also be a lawyer. But this dynast question that haunts Rahul Gandhi, because he says he's going to change it. Can he change it if he continues to be the automatic aspirant to the top job?
No, Barkha, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
If someone who has won a parliamentary election 2 times or 3 times has proved their mettle in governance, and if then they are appointed, is that the sign of a dynasty? By that logic, you know, you've answered my question. None of us should be in the profession of public service at all. Do we automatically get thrown out of the system because I happen to be my father's son? I don't think that's fair. We all go through the electoral system in this country. We all go through the hurly-burly of an electoral process. And if we are able to win the trust and confidence of the people in our constituency, which is reposed in us, only then do we get an opportunity to serve. Okay. And we certainly have tried to do that. I certainly have tried to do that. And in another 2 months, again, we'll go back into the examination room. And if what has worked in the last 5 years will result in a positive mandate or maybe a negative mandate. But that's what a robust democratic setup is all about. And I think for the media to label this dynast issue across the length and breadth of people who actually work really hard and try and serve the people, I think is in many ways, if I may be excused of saying this, a disservice to a lot of people who are trying to do a good job.